So I have to film this on my break at work, but hopefully it'll all be okay. So discussing Andrea Yates and her situation, having dealt with mental health issues, postpartum psychosis, and eventually that leading to suicide attempts on her own life, and the unfortunate loss of lives for her 5 children that she drowned in a bathtub during a psychosis. During something that made her believe that killing them was better than allowing them to stumble and allowing Satan to get his grips on them and take them to hell. She believed that by killing them, she was saving their souls in a sense so that they could go to heaven and live eternity there. That's obviously not a mentally stable way to look at that kind of situation. But anyways, there are so many things in this chapter I think you could talk about when you're talking about Andrea Yates. I think that she was a perfect example for this chapter. I think that so much of her life and her mental place, status, has to do with this chapter. And so I was really happy that this is what we decided to do and to watch and to comment on. But I think in the interest of time, since I am on a very tight schedule, I'm just going to talk about the ID, ego, superego kind of thing. I think that that's kind of the biggest role, is the effects to her ID or superego and her ability to use her ego to mediate between those two and make correct decisions, which she obviously was not capable of doing. I think that her superego maybe was well developed young. She was valedictorian and she was leader of clubs and swim and all these things. Like, she was obviously a high functioning young woman who was also high achieving. But after dealing with postpartum psychosis and after dealing with religious trauma from the preacher who fed her a lot of intense thoughts that her psychosis played into, I think that she lost control of her superego. I think that her morality was shot, and I think that she lost grip with reality. And when you lose grip with reality, it's kind of hard to keep your morality in line. And I think that it also affected her ID. I think that her innate human responses changed. When you are in a psychosis, I don't think you have control over your innate things, like get a knife, get a knife, get a knife, get a knife, or to kill somebody or to do something like that. It's just obviously been affected. They were all so strong, and her superego was shot, and so her ego, trying to mediate, just made bad decisions, awful decisions, horrifying decisions, and that got her into the situation she was in. And even more unfortunately, with that being one of the major cases, along with other things, in her life and in the chapter, that's not something that's really easy to fix and prevent, because mental health illnesses can be so out of the blue. You don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know if you're gonna get it. You don't know when. You don't know why. You don't know any of those things. She didn't know she was gonna have psychosis, and she didn't have psychosis prior to that. And so I don't know how much there is that we could have done to prevent it, except for, because she had access to mental health institutions, and she went to mental health institutions. She had access to a loving, caring, understanding husband. She had access to medications to help with her psychosis. She had access to the information about the cause, and yet she made decisions not to take medicines, or to get off medicines, or to not go to mental health institutions and to do these things. And her husband made the choices not to do X, Y, and Z, and those are inevitably what led to the awful situation, is improper care of critical mental health issues. And so destigmatizing mental health issues and destigmatizing seeking help for those issues is obviously a big factor for a lot of people. But I just don't know how much there is we could have done to keep the tragedy from happening. And that's really unfortunate in a case that results in 5 deaths of young children. But overall, really interesting video, really interesting chapter. I think it played together beautifully. I think that I really enjoyed this lesson, so thank you.